Welcome back to another explainer, everyone. I'm so thrilled you're here today because, well, we're going to set the stage for completely transforming how we approach literally one of the most stubborn health challenges out there. If you're the kind of person who loves to understand the why behind the how, you're in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to scientifically dismantle stubborn belly fat. We're replacing that endless frustration with pure, actionable biology. First things first, if you look in the mirror and see a hard, protruding belly, you really need to understand that you are not just looking at normal fat. Actually, you're looking at a living, breathing organ that is actively fighting against you. See, visceral fat is biologically totally distinct from that soft fat on your arms or legs. It's this metabolically aggressive tissue that literally wraps around your liver, your pancreas, and your intestines, essentially hijacking your blood supply just to keep itself alive. Okay, let's dive into this, because this idea completely validates the dieting struggles so many of us have faced for years. You know, most people try to starve this tissue. They cut calories, they skip meals, they run endlessly on treadmills. But extreme calorie cutting actually triggers a danger response in your body. When your internal chemistry is signaling danger, starving a stressed body just makes it hold on to that midsection even tighter. It treats it like a survival reserve. So the absolute fastest way to shrink this tissue isn't to eat less, it's to eat differently. Here's our biological roadmap for today. We're going to cover the biology of belly fat, unclogging the system, the stress and sugar shields, the fasting mimicker, and finally, we'll wrap it up with the biochemical protocol. So let's jump straight into section 1, the biology of belly fats, and using the inflammation fire extinguisher. To extinguish this inflammation, we've got to shift our mindset away from just counting calories and start using specific foods as medicinal tools. And we're starting with fatty fish. Think sardines, salmon, mackerel. You see, visceral fat is essentially inflamed fat. It constantly releases inflammatory cytokines like IL-6, which literally lock insulin resistance right into place. As long as you're inflamed, your fat cells are locked shut tight. To unlock them, we must flood the body with omega-3 fatty acids. This physical change actually makes your cell membranes fluid and receptive again. But listen, we aren't just eating this for the omega-3s or the protein, we're actually eating it for a very specific hormone. Now, what's really interesting about this is the hormone adiponectin. People often call it the skinny hormone. In folks with low visceral fat, adiponectin is incredibly high, but in people with a lot of belly fat, it is critically low. When you consume the whole food matrix of fatty fish, whether daily or weekly, it directly stimulates the production of this crucial hormone. And when adiponectin rises, it travels right to your muscles and your liver, giving them direct, strict orders to burn fatty acids for fuel instead of glucose. It's a total game changer. Moving right along to section 2, unclogging the system, or as I like to call it, the liver scrubber. Here's the basic biological logic. Even if you lower inflammation, fat remains totally trapped if the liver's exit door is blocked by steatosis. That's just when the liver gets completely congested with its own fat. So to unblock that door, we need food number 2, cruciferous vegetables. We're talking about bitter greens here, like broccoli sprouts, arugula, and kale. These plants contain very specific sulfur-based compounds that basically act as a master switch for your body's entire antioxidant defense system. Let me walk you through exactly how this clearing mechanism works down on a cellular level because it is fascinating. First, the sulforaphane in these greens physically flips the NRF2 switch. Without that switch, your liver literally cannot burn fat efficiently. Once it's flipped, it ramps up your phase 2 detoxification enzymes. These tiny enzymes get straight to work, stripping toxins and excess fat directly from the liver cells and packaging them up for export. Plus, these veggies contain DIM, which is a molecule that metabolizes excess estrogen, effectively putting a stop to the hormonal signals that promote that annoying midsection weight gain. It's literal biological housekeeping happening inside you. All right, section 3, the stress and sugar shields. This is all about calming the adrenals and the gut. Because think about it, a clean liver means absolutely nothing if your nervous system is constantly screaming danger. If it is, your body's just going to refill those fat stores immediately. We need a chemical break. Enter food number 3, pumpkin seeds, or pepitas. You see, high cortisol is the primary architect of a hard belly because it mobilizes sugar directly into your abdomen. But just a mere quarter cup of these magnesium-rich pumpkin seeds acts as a total adrenal off switch. The magnesium binds to GABA receptors in your brain, those are your neurotransmitters of calm, and it stops that low-level anxiety that keeps cortisol trickling into your system 24/7. I actually want to pause here for a second and ask you directly, Which craving team do you belong to when you're feeling stressed or tired? Are you team salty, instantly reaching for the chips? Or are you team sweet, grabbing the chocolate? Because if you're team salty, that desperately indicates adrenal fatigue and a severe mineral need. Pumpkin seeds are literally your medicine right now. But if you're team sweet, well, that points to an insulin or dopamine issue, which actually leads us perfectly to our next tool. And that is food number 4, chia and flax seeds. These guys act as the ultimate metabolic sponge. Because even if you have calm adrenals, if your blood sugar is just constantly on a roller coaster, we need an actual physical barrier in the gut to stop those nasty insulin spikes that lock fat right back into place. These seeds contain a highly specific type of viscous, soluble fiber. Just look at the mechanics of this daily insurance policy. In step 1, when these seeds mixed with water in your stomach, they expand and form this incredibly thick gel. Then, step 2, this gel actually coats the lining of your small intestine. By step 3, it's acting as a literal physical barrier. Glucose simply cannot rush into your bloodstream. It has to fight its way through that gel, which completely flattens your glucose curve. And finally, step 4. When it reaches the colon, your gut bacteria ferment it into butyrate. That's a signaling molecule that travels all the way to your brain to trigger a feeling of deep, profound satiety. It's just an incredible mechanical defense. Okay, section 4, the fasting mimicker, also known as the accelerator. So, we've lowered inflammation, we've claimed the liver, and we've slowed down digestion. Now we're introducing a true biological hack for your cellular pump. Food number 5 is the avocado. It's a powerhouse thermogenic fat burner. You know, most people think of avocado as just a healthy fat, but biochemically speaking, it is a specialized tool loaded with massive amounts of potassium to fix the potassium-sodium pump inside your cells. When your potassium is low, your cells just can't pull glucose out of the blood efficiently. So what happens? Your pancreas has to pump out massive amounts of fat-storing insulin. But eating just a half an avocado daily fixes this cellular pump, which drastically lowers your pancreas's need to pump out all that insulin. But here is the real shock factor, the number 16. You see, avocados are incredibly rich in oleic acid, and that triggers the release of a hormone called OEA in your small intestine. OEA sends a hardwired signal straight to your brain to stop eating and increase fat oxidation. Guys, it activates the exact same fat-burning state as a 16-hour fast without you having to skip a single meal. You are mechanically telling your body it's full while simultaneously turning on the fast. No way, right? It's amazing. Let's move to section 5 and see how this builds. This is the biochemical protocol, where we're stacking the data. We definitely don't need to eat these foods in isolation. The true power really comes from stacking this data. Just imagine a lunch built exactly like this. A beautiful fillet of salmon for your adiponectin, sitting right on a bed of arugula and broccoli sprouts to flush the liver. Then, sprinkle that generously with pumpkin seeds to dampen your cortisol. Dress it with chia oil or seeds to create that glucose-blocking fiber matrix. And finally, pair it with a side of avocado to restore potassium and mimic that 16-hour fast. Listen, this is not a diet meal. This is a beautifully stacked master biological code. It sends a profound signal of ultimate safety and efficiency to your entire body. So, the crucial point you really need to take away today is this. Visceral fat is not a character flaw. It's not a failure of willpower, I promise you. It is simply a symptom of a body that is inflamed, completely stressed out, and insulin resistant. Your body isn't broken. It's really just responding to the exact signals it's been given. When you change those chemical signals, the fat has absolutely no choice but to let go. Which leaves us with one final, pretty empowering question. Are you ready to stop starving and start signaling? I really hope this explainer has left you absolutely fascinated by your own biology and totally ready to bioengineer your very next meal. Thank you so much for joining me today. Keep exploring your health, and I'll catch you in the next one.